Okay, welcome back to another episode of Tell Me Sis podcast.
Featuring your two favorite sisters. Oh, wait, I took your spot.
Yeah.
I took your line.
You have to say your name.
Alex.
I'm Kyla.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and it's a beautiful day.
Yeah,
today.
If you're watching on YouTube, we're recording outside today.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't start raining.
Oh, that would not be good. Well, we'll just have to take it inside if that's the case.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful day up until we
just
started
this
recording.
second, but I mean, it was like sunny 2 seconds ago. Now it's like full overcast.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's cross our fingers and hope it doesn't start pouring down on us.
I literally don't know where to put this because I'm wearing a dress. So I usually have it between my legs.
I mean, I think that's...
Is it weird?
It might look weird on camera. Like, I don't know.
Okay, well, how's everything going?
Really good. I was going to say pretty good, and then I started saying really good, so I'm pretty sure I just said pretty good.
Pretty good.
But we had the best time in Cape Cod.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we need to recap that.
Yes. And then, I mean, we got back when? It was almost a week ago, right?
Well, I got back Saturday evening because we extended.
Yeah, so I got back Thursday evening. By the way, I have to know how, like, that extended version of the trip went. I haven't talked to you about that yet. But Cape Cod was, oh my God. First of all, that Airbnb was stunning.
Yeah, well, actually, I'd like to correct. It's not an Airbnb.
Oh.
It was through an app called Wander. It's a competitor of Airbnb. But it's different in the sense of, like, it's a home away from home, like an Airbnb, mixed with a hotel, like a luxury hotel. So that's the whole aspect of it, is that I don't know if you noticed in your closet, but you had like the robes that said Wander on it with slippers. And then it came with like all your amenities like a hotel room would. So it has like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Has like a sewing kit, like loofahs, toothbrushes, like things that came in the bathroom.
Nice.
So,
I did notice the soaps and stuff.
Yeah, so they do, like, this isn't sponsored by the way, but they do, they have like a 24/7 concierge service through the app.
Okay.
You check in through the app, and like if ever you need like laundry or new towels or whatever, like a hotel, you would just message the concierge and then they would send whatever. So like, for example, we did it one other time, and like the hot water wasn't working at that place that we were staying at, so we messaged the concierge, and like they answer instantly, and they're like, oh, we're sending someone to come fix it. And then,
oh my God, look at my finger.
what? Whoa,
That was weird.
a weird tremor.
That happens to me sometimes.
I think it happens to most people. It's like a twitch, like a muscle twitch. It happens to me sometimes with my eyes, or if I'm like working a lot on my phone, my thumbs might do it.
Yeah, sometimes my thumbs do it, or like my fingers. It's like my hand will like shake a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, side note. But okay, that's interesting because I didn't know what Wander is.
Yeah, it's basically just in the United States. I don't think they've expanded worldwide yet, but it's a great thing if you're looking for that like luxury aspect of home meets like hotel, where you can get kind of everything you need. Because I know with Airbnbs, like you can message the host for whatever reason, but it doesn't mean that they're like necessarily close by, because I know people own Airbnbs around the world. So like the host might be living in London and they have an Airbnb in Portugal. It's not like they can come, you know? So I kind of like that aspect of it. Plus, like, looking for a beautiful home on the Cape, I just wanted something that was very like beach house, traditional to Cape Cod. So
it was pretty much a mansion that we were staying at, and we had our own pool, our own hot tub. We were on a private beach.
Yep.
It was so nice, and there were so many bedrooms, and the home, it felt like it was never ending.
Yeah, so the actual house itself was an original 1920s traditional like farmhouse from the area.
Yeah.
So they
there's gonna be mosquitoes.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I live in the freaking forest. Get out of here. So that was really cool because you could tell how old it was by like the creaky floors, but it was recently renovated in I think 2017 or 2018. So when we were checking out, like you guys left early in the morning, when we were checking out later, the real estate agent, because the property was just sold actually, so she had come to like check on the house, and we were just asking questions. I was like, oh, you know, about the house. She was like, oh yeah, it was like recently renovated. The family that just bought it is super nice. They'll probably rent it out a few times next summer as well. And in my head, I'm like, I really want to ask like what these people do for a living, because who can afford a $5.6 million home as like a summer home?
in Cape Cod?
Like, what do you do? Are you like the CEO of a company? Like, I need to know, because that area that we were staying in, which is Orleans, in Massachusetts, is like a very rich area.
Yeah.
We didn't realize going in there how many like celebrities or presidents in the past like own homes there.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So it was pretty cool because my friend, he knows a lot about Cape Cod, and he was like, oh my gosh, like the area you're staying at is like very like luxurious area, and I had no idea prior. Like, I found this out afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it makes sense because the homes around there are absolutely stunning. But yeah, actually, to be completely honest, did you hear that thunder?
Yeah.
To be completely honest, it was not as expensive as I thought because we went on off season, which beginning of June technically is considered off season, but it was beautiful weather.
Oh, I didn't know that would be considered off season.
Yeah, like I think mid-June is beginning of like...
Okay, that makes sense.
It's considered off season, so most people aren't traveling because kids are still in school at that time, you know, like people aren't out of work or whatever. They're typically vacationing in July and August.
Yeah.
So for off season, it was $12.50 a night, which is expensive, but for the house that you get, the things that you get, my dad made a point. He's like, if you're 5 families staying in this home, which to be fair, it would easily fit 5 families, like with enough room. The place was huge. You get your own hot tub, your own pool, your own access to a private beach. You basically would, every family would pay $12.50 total. Yeah. Right, because everyone would pay for one night. So like you're basically paying like $300 a night to stay in this beautiful mansion with your friends or your family members. So he was like, it's actually not as expensive as you would think, because you would look at a home like that and be like, oh, this is at least $3,000 a night. Yeah. But for the price, it was like, I mean, it's not affordable, but it's more like,
it's not as expensive as you would assume.
Yeah, like especially because he was saying if we came back,
because also the location of it was amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was literally so beautiful.
It was very close to like one of the main streets. It's literally called Main Street.
Yeah,
with, like the shopping. And
yeah, well, there's Main Street in every little borough. So like every town that you go to, there's a Main Street. So like
I did not know that.
So like when we went to Chatham one day, that there was Main Street there, and then I went to like Dennis one day, there was Main Street there. We went to Provincetown up the north of the Cape, there's Main Street there. So like every little...
I didn't know that. I like that.
It's really cute. And people don't realize that Cape Cod, like, I mean, maybe people know this, but most of my friends were like, oh, we thought Cape Cod was like a city. Didn't realize it was a whole like coast of an island area. And we did one day at Nantucket, which you didn't come to.
I didn't go to that day, no. I ended up... that was the day I went for a run on the beach.
Oh my gosh, you need to talk about what happened.
Yes. So I decided to go for a run on the private beach one morning. And this was the day that you guys went to Nantucket, which I want to hear about after.
Yeah.
But so I have a huge fear of sharks, right? Like, and they freak me out so much that like I've done so much research, and I like watching shark videos and like hearing shark attack stories. I mean, I don't like it, but I'm just like, it terrifies me so much that I'm like, so...
You need to know everything about it.
Yeah. And so I go for a run on the beach, and I obviously I didn't see a shark attack or anything, but I see a seal in the water, and I was like, oh my God, like it's just... And it was pretty close to shore. And I was like...
Seals equal sharks.
Exactly. And there's definitely great whites, like not far away from that seal, because they go pretty close up to shore. And there's been a few stories I've seen of like literal great whites washing up on shore.
But they can't get you if they wash up on shore, right?
No, if you don't go in front of its mouth. Yeah. But like, for it to get washed up on shore, that means it's already really close to the shore.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
You know, like you could be waist deep in the water and like it confuses you for a seal, you know, and it's very, very rare. Like it's not common to be attacked by sharks, obviously, but like just the fact that it still could happen.
Yeah, it's scary.
To me is enough. Oh, I felt a raindrop. Oh, felt another one.
Oh, shoot.
To me, it's enough to not go in the water. Anyways, so I'm running on the beach and I'm thinking to myself, like, I would never go in those waters. They're so freaky. Like, it's just, and the water is so cold too. It just makes it even more eerie. And as I'm thinking that, it was like very windy, and I see this like one white bird. It's not a seagull. I don't know what type of bird it is, but it's like kind of like flying close to my head, but the wind is flying against it, so it's like kind of struggling. So I was like, okay, maybe it's really close to me because the wind is pushing it.
Yeah.
And I keep running, and I'm on the beach, so it's not like I could run super fast.
Yeah.
And like my ankles are already kind of like twisting as I'm running because it's on the sand. And all of a sudden, this bird just comes beelining towards my head.
Of course.
So I duck. I swear, if I didn't duck, that bird would have got me.
Jeez.
So I duck and I scream because I'm like, okay, no, that bird is coming to attack me. And then as I scream and then like I look back up, I notice there's another one from the other side coming towards me. So I scream again and I start running like even faster, but kind of towards the water because that's where the sand is a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's like not as bumpy. And they're following me and taking turns diving at my head. And then the third one comes.
Oh my God.
When I tell you, I was so scared, and I was alone on the beach. It was like pretty far away where I saw people. So I was screaming at the top of my lungs and they didn't hear me. And there was a certain point where I was like, I am debating running in the water. Because what do I do? Like they were kind of behind me at this point, and I had to keep turning around. And eventually they left me alone. But it was like a solid, I would say, 200 meters that these birds were following me.
That is so scary.
I know.
What is with birds attacking you?
I don't know.
We literally have it on camera from when we were in Spain.
I know.
The birds attacking you.
They were kind of small, these birds, but like those
still
things
got
are
beaks.
They're aggressive.
Beaks, and they got little talons, you know, their little feet.
Could you imagine one of those what are they called? I mean, eagles are huge, but those birds that eat like dead animals, like carcasses. Vultures. Could you imagine?
I mean, we see them around here all the time.
It's so creepy.
I mean, any kind of bird that has like the big talon. What are they called again? Raptors? I think they're called raptors. Any kind of
those
bird.
are like prehistoric.
No, but I think that the type of bird is called a raptor bird.
Oh, when they have like the claws. Yeah.
So like an eagle, I think
also
a hawk.
the really big beaks. Like, no.
I mean, it would literally kill you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Did you know that those birds from like the dinosaur ages, what are they called?
Which one? Like the
Were they called raptors?
No, that's a velociraptor. It was the
Was it a velociraptor?
No, velociraptor is not the flying one. The velociraptor is like the small one that looks like a T-Rex. Oh my God, what is it called? Pterodactyl.
Is it a pterodactyl?
Pterodactyl.
So I saw videos. I don't know if this is true, but I think they discovered. I mean, I discovered this recently, and if I remember properly, it was like a more recent discovery in the last like decade or something. That they were much bigger than we thought. Like they were probably as tall as your home.
What?
Like the pictures I saw. I don't know if that's accurate. Okay, I saw a few videos. But
wouldn't they have the bones to show?
That's how they figured it out. I think. I could be wrong.
Because I know the T-Rex
If there's a paleontologist listening to this,
they're probably fucking cringing.
I mean, if that's true, like that's creepy because the stuff that I saw, I was like, it looks like they're bigger. Like they were coming down, and like those dinosaurs with the big necks.
I call them long necks.
Whatever they're
Bronchiosaurus or whatever.
Yeah, like those birds were able to like snatch those off the ground. That's like just from what I saw. I don't know if it's true.
I mean, listen, like look at the size of a whale. You know, clearly animals can be very big.
But crocodiles and sharks, like they're literally, they survived, I'm pretty sure, and like evolved over time.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen... Whoa. Did my camera just move or was that in my head?
That's in your head.
Sorry, that was so creepy. What was I saying? Just animals that exist that are so big, and like there's so many animals in the world that we haven't even discovered, like at the bottom of the ocean. Like
that freaks me out.
It's so creepy to think about it because there's so many people that are exploring outer space, but there's so much of our planet that we haven't even been able to explore.
I know. And it's the ocean. I think, what is it? Like 75% of the ocean we haven't discovered?
That is so creepy.
And I think it actually might be a bigger percentage that we haven't discovered.
Because there's creatures that live in like the deep, 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 dark bottom of the ocean.
I know.
You know, that like can't even survive in the light.
I know.
And that dates back to like prehistoric times. It's actually so wild to look back at the evolution of mammals.
I know.
And just everything, seeing, like it's so fascinating to me.
I mean, birds.
Yeah, well, did you hear that, like, supposedly dinosaurs, like the T-Rex and all of them, had feathers?
Yeah.
Like, that's so crazy.
And their roar wasn't like what you hear in the movies. It was much different.
What was it like? Like a bird?
No, it was like
Do it.
I couldn't even do it. No.
Really?
Yeah.
So you see this
like
big
that.
T-Rex, like, all scary, and it's like...
No. But
Actually,
it wasn't high pitched like that. It was like a... Like, you know when you hear an animal kind of like... It was like a... I couldn't tell you. It was like a weird noise. No, it was like... like a...
Like a boat?
Like a rhythm.
Okay. Well, when you hear squirrels, I don't know if you've ever heard what a squirrel sounds like when they do the little, like, chirping. Sometimes I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, wait, that's a squirrel. There's so many noises that you don't realize are from, like, a specific animal because it's not like a dog or a cow or whatever.
I don't think I ever heard a squirrel.
They do, like, this chirping noise.
But also T-Rexes, supposedly they were a lot more horizontal when they were walking. And their arms were, like, even tinier, I'm pretty sure.
Than, like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
There's a new Jurassic World movie.
I can't wait to see it. I love those movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, well, how many are they coming out with? I stopped watching after the one movie where, like, they had to leave the animals behind. Remember, they're, like, on the boat and you see, like, the long necks looking. And I'm like, I could cry.
Which one was that?
I don't remember, but I stopped watching after that because I'm
I
like,
know.
that's so sad. Like,
I know.
I was bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, these are not even real creatures. They're CGI.
I know.
And I was crying.
I hate that you reminded me of that. I didn't like that.
I know. Sorry, guys. But yeah, so you got attacked by the birds. Okay, wait, let's go in order of the trip. So we booked the trip from like a Monday to a Thursday. So it was kind of short during the week. Technically, it was to celebrate our dad turning 70, which is so wild to think that he's in a new decade. I mean, I have his 60th surprise party on YouTube, like in Sophia's backyard.
Yeah.
So to like know that we've been doing this for 10 years is wild, but he really wanted to do something low key. He didn't want a big like party. So I was like, let's go away, just our family, and like spend time together. Cape Cod's a place that my parents had never been to, have always wanted to go to. So, you know, East Coast summer, we're like, let's just do it. We checked in on the Monday. It was like a 6.5 hour drive, I would say.
For us, it was longer because we stopped.
And like you had traffic, I think.
Yeah, we stopped in Boston to get pizza, and then we were stuck in traffic for like an hour or something.
And now it's super sunny. Anyway.
This is Montreal.
Yeah. So we drove down. I checked in a little bit earlier with Dan and the kids, and we just explored the home, and we're like, wow, this is stunning. Then you guys showed up, and we went to the grocery store just to get some stuff to make burgers. Enjoyed our first night there. Did you sleep well that first night? I didn't sleep very well.
I think the first night I slept very well. It was the second night I didn't sleep that well, I think.
I don't know why. I didn't, like, the bed was so comfortable, but I just like couldn't sleep.
And then the third night I slept like a baby.
Yeah. So that second day, what we decided to do, because it was my dad's birthday on that day, was like kind of leave it up to him with what he wanted to do. So he was like, oh, let's go to like a little town. So I found the one nearby was Chatham. I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, we went there, we walked around, we stopped at like the first restaurant we saw, got some food, lobster rolls, did some shopping, and then we headed back to the house to just chill. And then we decided to go for dinner in Orleans, kind of close by. I found this restaurant that was rated really well. And the food was like Italian, seafood.
Oh, that was the first night.
Well, technically the second night. Because the first night we made burgers.
Oh, yes.
So we went to this restaurant, celebrated my dad, went back home, went to bed. And the next day we went to Nantucket, and you and Daddy stayed back. And I want to know what you guys did. I mean, other than the getting attacked by birds.
So
you went for breakfast, I think.
Yeah, we went for breakfast, and then we went back to the house. I went for a run on the beach. That's when the bird incident happened. And the fact that I, of all people, was actually heavily considering running into the ocean in Cape Cod.
With the sharks, knowing that they're sharks.
Just goes to tell you that those birds were really aggressive. Actually, I should send you the video that I took right after when I was still on the beach, but the birds at this point had left me alone.
Okay.
I sent it to Jess.
We should put it in the YouTube video.
In the YouTube video. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh my God, Jess. Holy shit. I just had 3 birds try to attack me. I'm running on the beach. They came out of fucking nowhere. Oh my God. That is the fucking scariest shit. 3 of them. Out of nowhere. I have no idea why. Like, yes, I was running, so I'm out of breath. But I'm like hyperventilating. Do not ever go for a run on the beach. They came so close to me, like about to fly into my face. Never again. Never fucking again. And I'm over here scared about the sharks in the ocean. I need to be aware of the fucking birds.
But yeah, those birds were, I was genuinely terrified because they have beaks.
Yeah.
Like, that could actually do some damage. So then I got back to the house, and Dad and I sat outside. I went in the pool for a bit. We were just chilling,
nice.
talking. Then I'm pretty sure I went back in, I showered, and I think I took like a power nap, and then you guys were back.
Okay. So our day was, we took the ferry from Yarmouth, South Yarmouth Port, to Nantucket. We did the express ferry. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's an hour versus like 2.5 hours. You can also take a chartered plane, but like that's more expensive. So we just decided to do the quick ferry.
That video you have of Arky and Rue,
I know, it's so
on the
cute.
boat
Oh
is
my God.
adorable.
Well, Mom's like, let's sit outside. It's so hot outside. It's beautiful. And I'm like, you don't have a sweater. You're going to get cold in the wind. She's like, it's so hot, whatever. I'm like, okay. So we sit outside, and like it starts moving. We're like, oh wow, it's so nice. And then like as it gets out of the port, it like takes off to go fast. So it's like so windy and cold. So Mom's like, maybe I'll just go inside. So we knew on the way back we were going to sit inside, but it was cool to sit outside the first time to like see. Also, I was like nervous. I'm like, I get like kind of seasick.
Yeah.
So I'm like, ugh.
Was it rocky?
Not really. Honestly, like it was so fine. It felt like rocky, like you're on like a boat. Not a boat. The car.
Okay.
It wasn't like when we were taking the ferry from St. Martin to St. Bart's. That ferry ride was like, oh my God, what is that? What was that?
Alex,
what was that?
We were talking about dinosaurs, and there was a legit dinosaur.
What the fuck was that? I've never seen a bug like that.
No, me either.
Was that a hornet? It had like a tail.
I know.
Oh, nature. Anyway, what?
I don't know.
Okay, stop. The spider,
No.
our last one with Christina.
Oh my God. No, that thing was huge.
Yeah, that was big.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Okay.
So we got to Nantucket.
No, what I was going to say was in
the ferry.
Whenever you take those like speed like rapid boats. So me and Jess, when we were in Paros, and we had to take the ferry we took it from Paros to the capital of Greece, Athens.
Okay, yeah.
And
I've heard they're bad.
So we ended up missing the ferry that we had initially booked because Sophia made it very clear, don't book the rapid ferries because it's known that
vomit.
Yeah, it's like vomit central.
Yeah.
And so me and Jess, of course, we miss our ferry. So we had to book a ferry for later that day. And we didn't realize that the only ferry available was the rapid one.
Oh, shoot.
And we didn't even realize it was the rapid one when we were like rebooking everything. We get to the dock or whatever that place is called. And we're about to get on. And I was like, Jess, why does it say speed or like rapid or whatever? She was like, no. And then we look at our tickets and it says it. And then we're looking at, and the couple behind us heard what we were saying. And oh no, this was from Milos to Paros. Anyways, the couple behind us heard what we were talking about. And we were like, oh my God, like,
we're actually, puke.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm actually panicking. Like, I need to take an anxiety pill. And Jess was panicking too.
Oh my God.
We get on the boat, and I'm like focusing on my breathing. Like, both of her and I were barely talking. And I'm like, it's a small boat. There's nowhere to go outside on the boat. Like, the bigger ferries, there's like decks and stuff.
Yeah, no, you have to sit inside.
And it was 2 floors. You have to sit inside. I think there was only like 4 bathrooms, and it was small.
Oh no.
So I was like, no matter where I go, you're gonna smell if someone's puking.
Yeah.
And the first floor on the ferry there was like no AC, and I was like, I'm actually going to die. Anyways,
I would have not gone on.
We got water bottles right away. And I took my anxiety pill. Jess sat downstairs and I was like, I can't sit downstairs. I need to go upstairs and see if there's like anything. Like I was like, it's so hot, Jess. I'm like actually gonna have a panic attack.
Yeah.
And I get upstairs and I was like, oh, the AC was blasting. So I was like, this is perfect. And there were so many empty seats. And so by that time, my Ativan started kicking in and me and Jess were texting each other because we were both freaking out so much.
Why didn't she come join you?
Because we were both having panic attacks and like freaking out. We were like, we need to be separate because we need to just like focus. And like, I don't want you to see me freaking out because then I'm going to feel judged, even though we wouldn't be judging each other. Yeah. It's just like when I'm having a panic attack, I need to almost be alone. Yeah. You know?
But I'm saying more for her, like, wouldn't she want to be in the AC?
She wanted to be on the first floor.
Oh, okay.
She's like, no, I found my spot. This is the spot that's going to make me feel better. Like, we both, like, we just knew.
How long was the ride if it was rapid? Like an hour?
It was about an hour and a half, I believe.
Okay. Oof, that's long.
And it was pretty rocky at times, but it wasn't that bad. And I didn't hear anyone throw up. And I didn't smell any puke. But needless to say, I think I got very lucky with that because if you look on TikTok, there's...
Yeah, I've seen some horror stories.
Yeah.
No, ours was not like that at all. I mean, it was a small-ish boat. There was 3 stories, and like the top one, you're outside.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And then you can go on the deck on like the second story as well. You can go outside, like around whatever. But on the way back, we just stayed inside because it was like more comfortable that way.
Yeah.
But definitely wasn't like rocky like what it was when we went that time when we went to.
You know what's weird?
It was really bad.
That boat, that experience, I don't remember it being like I wasn't boat sick at all.
Well, I remember when we took off, we were like, oh my God, it's so fun because it was crazy waves. Like we were feeling roller coaster, you know, like that like drop feeling. And then all of a sudden we all got quiet and we started staring off into the distance. And Kat like lied down because she was like, oh my God, like I'm going to be sick. I think you were pretty fine. But for me, I was like, ooh, like feeling it. I'm pretty sensitive to that kind of stuff. Anyway, so we get to Nantucket. It's a small island. Basically, like the main area of Nantucket is like all walking. Like you can have a car, but you can walk everywhere. So I was like, hey, we don't have that long because we got in at about 10:30 and then we had to get back on the boat at 2.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go for a bit of a walk and then we'll go for lunch. So we walked up the main street, and then we got some coffee, did a bit of like window shopping, went into a few stores, and then we were going to go to a beach, but Mom's like, okay, it's a 20-minute walk to this beach. By the time we get there, like get our food and set up by the beach, we'll basically have to walk back because it's going to be 20 minutes to walk back. So she's like, let's find a restaurant nearby. So I looked and I saw that there was this restaurant called the Tavern and Gazebo, which is like pretty popular. There's another restaurant called Crew, which a lot of people say is like the best lobster roll and it's like the best restaurant, but you have to book reservations like well in advance. So there's no walk-ins.
Yeah.
So there was no availability. So I was like, hey, let's just go to the Tavern. It was expensive. I'm not going to lie. Like the food was very expensive in Cape Cod. But we needed to try the mudslide, which is a famous like vodka drink. It's basically like a Frosty with vodka.
You posted a video of you trying it.
So it was good. I mean, it was fine. Mom really liked it. It was a double shot of espresso of vodka in the drink. So it was, you know, had a good kick to it. I got a cold lobster roll. It was really yummy. The fuck was that? Okay.
This is what happens when you're in nature.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, that insect, whatever the hell that was.
I don't know what that was.
Keep an eye out.
And then after we just went to a local park, Mom and I went and did some shopping because she wanted to buy stuff for Mama and for Dad. And then we took the ferry back and met up with you guys. Then we had dinner. I think Dan barbecued some chicken. You and I went to take photos at the beach.
Oh my God, those pictures. I was looking through them the other day.
Yeah.
Dying of laughter. It was so windy.
I know. You did your hair all pretty.
My emo bag.
I know. Literally like this. That's why
Where are you?
And I'm so sorry. But yeah, I didn't do my hair because I'm like, if I'm going to do my hair, it's just going to fly up in the air. That was a rhyme.
Yeah, that's smart, actually.
So I just don't do my hair when I'm on like a beach vacation. So then you guys left the next morning and Dan and I decided we were going to extend for 2 days because I'm like, we're already here. Like when you're traveling with kids, it's a whole different story because like the travel day is actually so long with the kids and like they were so good on the way down. I'm like, I feel like if we leave today, it's like we're there for 2 days. It's not enough time.
Yeah.
So we found this super cute bed and breakfast on the coast in Dennis Port, which was so nice. I had never stayed in a bed and breakfast as an adult we did a few times when we were kids, but I don't really remember. Oh my gosh, the experience is so fun. It's like you get to meet the family. You feel like you're a part of this family. They cook for you. You're meeting the other people staying there. You're like in this little home. It was so cute. Then they had this tiny little private beach. So we spent our day there. We basically went to the private beach near the big house.
Okay.
For a little bit. And Rue had actually gotten sick, so she started to feel a bit feverish. We're like, hey, let's get out of the sun.
Yeah.
So we went in the car with the AC. We were like, okay, let's just drive towards the new area, and she'll nap in the car, and we'll check in. So we got to the little bed and breakfast. We checked in, got some food. We went to this hot dog stand. It was so cute.
Oh my God. Did you try the hot dogs?
Yeah, it was really cool. You get like a loaded hot dog. So you could do like a nacho hot dog. I did like the classic Cape Cod hot dog, which had like grilled onions on it. And it was
so
like,
what is the Cape Cod hot dog?
It was like grilled onions with cabbage not Cape Cod. They called it the 4th of July hot dog.
So it's ketchup, mustard.
No, it was like the hot dog with like grilled onions, cabbage, and like this some weird like barbecue sauce type thing.
Ooh.
And then Arkham just got like a regular hot dog.
With just ketchup?
Yeah. And then we got the
And then
loaded,
what did Dan get?
I forget. I think he got like the loaded hot dog that was like their classic. So it was basically like a toasty. You get like a toasty here in Montreal. The toppings of a toasty.
Oh, okay.
It's like a cabbage, whatever. And then we got the loaded tater tot nachos. So it was like nachos, but instead of chips, it was tater tots. It was really good. So we had that, and then
Yum.
we checked into the little bed and breakfast, and then I went down to the beach with Arky. Dan came for a bit, but he's like, I'm just going to bring Rue back inside and like give her a nap because she was like starting not to feel good again. So
Poor baby.
Arky's like, I want to go swimming with mommy. So we were just playing in the beach for a while, and then I was like, okay, I'm starting to feel like heat stroke. So I'm like, let's go back. We just recouped in the Airbnb a little bit, took a bit of a nap, and then we walked to this restaurant called the Oyster Company, which the woman from the bed and breakfast had recommended us, or no, it was the real estate agent from the other house. She recommended us to go to this Oyster House place because she was like, it's really popular. It kind of like looks like not grungy, but it's not like a, fancy place, but it's really good. So we're like, okay, we'll get some oysters. We'll go. It was really good. Then we stopped to get some ice cream on the way home. And then the next day we checked out of that bed and breakfast, and we were going to stay at another like little motel place kind of closer to where we would drive home.
Yeah.
So we could like basically cut off an hour of our drive back home. But before we did that, we're like, let's drive up to Provincetown for the day before we check into the hotel. Because Provincetown is like the total tip of Cape Cod.
Yeah.
So it's like an hour drive up to the tip just to see what it's like. And we heard it's like such a fun town. It's basically like the LGBTQ plus like capital of America, they say. Like it was very, very friendly in that sense. Like so fun. Definitely a really lively town. Like I feel like it would be really fun to have like a bachelorette there or a bachelor party. Like it's just really, really fun. We went to this restaurant called the Canteen, which again had a really good lobster roll and like so many drinks, and it looked like a really fun place.
Yeah.
Like definitely not like super kid friendly, but
Yeah.
like they still supply like high chairs and stuff, whatever. So got some food, walked around a bit more. We stopped at a vineyard, but Dan is dry for the month because of his race.
Yeah.
So it was just me drinking.
I remember that was the day that we were texting and you're like, I'm tipsy.
Yeah, I actually got kind of drunk, and Dan actually got like kind of upset with me because he's like, this is like super inappropriate with like the kids. Like I'm basically alone now because like taking care of you and the kids. I'm like, oh shit, because I didn't realize it was gonna hit me that strong. Because I had like the wine from the vineyard, and then I had a like frosé, which is basically a frozen rosé, but I think they put other alcohol in it too because it was pretty strong, and it hit me quick, and I was like I was slurring.
Ooh.
And he was like, Alex, like come on, we're with our kids. I'm like, oh, you're right. I wasn't like drunk, but like not. I was like, what then? Like not paying attention. And he's like, oh my God, Alex. I'm like, he wasn't actually mad, but he was like, really?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
You barely ever drink too.
I know.
So like, I don't even know the last time I've seen you drunk.
Oh,
I don't
even
have memories.
I don't even remember the last time I was drunk. But I told him, I'm like, I don't know my limit because I like rarely drink. He's like, exactly. So you shouldn't drink that much. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Like your limit would probably be a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Or max 2.
Yeah, maybe. Because like
wine is very strong.
But I have to be honest, when we were in Mexico and I was getting margaritas, like I would have like 3 margaritas and be fine.
But they don't put that much alcohol in the margaritas.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why. Because I'm like, this is like totally
they're very
normal.
watered down. and it takes a lot for you to get drunk at an all-inclusive.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Unless
So
you're
it was
taking like actual shots.
Yeah. But I mean, it was really fun, and like I sobered up quickly. We stopped. I got a coffee and like a cookie or whatever, and I was just like, pounded the coffee, and then by the time we got back to the car, I was like totally sober, and then we drove to this beach because Kareem had said that Point something beach, whatever, was really beautiful, but also was like the capital for like great white sharks. So like the first thing we see there is like all these seals. And so Arkham runs towards the water, and I'm like, yeah, you're not going to be swimming in this ocean.
No.
But I felt bad because he made some friends there, and he's like so social.
Yeah.
Arky. He like goes off and he plays with kids. He's like, you want to play? And then they like start playing together, and it was so cute to watch. But again, Rue like started not feeling well again.
Yeah.
Like the Tylenol
Poor
was wearing off. I know.
baby.
So I was like, you know what, Dad, maybe we should just like leave, have our nap in the car on the way back, because it's like an hour drive.
Yeah.
Like, get in the AC. And I felt bad because Arky was having so much fun, and I was like, we have to leave. And he was like, oh, I'm playing with my friend. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I felt so bad.
And I know, don't you remember that feeling when you were a kid?
I know. So what Dan did was he took Rue to the car just to like give her some AC and like a break, and she was fine. And then I stayed for an extra 15 minutes with Arky just to like have him play a bit more. And there was a dead baby shark that was like washed up, like a great white.
You saw it?
It was like half eaten. Like either a seal got to it or something else got to it. Arky's like, look, you could see the skeleton, and I was like, oh, I don't want to see that. But yeah.
It might have been another shark.
Maybe. But they were like,
This wind feels so good because
I know.
I'm really hot right now.
they were quote unquote playing with it. Like the kids, they were like trying to like look for it and pretend to catch it. And I was like, yeah, don't get too close.
Like, even though it's dead, the teeth are still sharp.
Well, also, like, I don't know what's on it. Like, if it's dirty or whatever.
True.
Don't touch a dead thing. Anyway, so then we got back into the car. We drove to our hotel, and by then it was like super cloudy and rainy. It was the first like rainy day of the trip, and we're like, oh, perfect, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, and that's when we drive home.
Also, driving home in the rain is like very relaxing.
And not even that, it's like I don't feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
You know, when it's a really beautiful day, you're like, oh man, it would be so nice to be like by the beach or by the pool, and like you're spending all day in the car. So like, the fact that it was raining on the way home was like perfect. And
Yeah.
again, the kids were angels on the way home. We did 2 stops to feed Rue, and it was like in and out. And then we got back home, and I went straight to the yacht club with my friends, with the kids, to hang out for the evening and get some food. And then yeah, it's
What food did you eat at the yacht club?
I got a chicken club wrap, and Arky got a pogo, like a hot dog on a stick, for those that don't know what pogo is.
I want to have a poutine from there again. You know where I want a poutine from again also?
Where?
That's
Coscoot?
the Sauvé place.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
good.
so good, the poutine's there.
I'm saying it's good as if I like poutine, but you know me.
Well, you always want to try a poutine.
It
'cause
looks
it
good.
looks really good. But I get it. Like, because I feel like looking at a poutine too, like something about it looks like maybe there would be some kind of like a sweetness to it as well. Personally, I find like
Yeah.
if the fries are like a specific type of fry or whatever, but then you try it and it's like just straight salt.
It's not even that. It's I don't like the taste of gravy, so I don't know why I think I'm gonna like it every single time, because I don't like that kind
Which
of
is
gravy.
crazy. I love gravy.
I like gravy when it's homemade at Thanksgiving, like when a
Oh,
family
yes,
member
yeah.
makes it. I don't like the kind of gravy that you get at like Saint Hubert or whatever, like where it's
No, but the gravy is not the same as Saint Hubert. I don't like the gravy at Saint Hubert.
okay. Well, to me, it's like that type of gravy.
Like it tastes almost like artificial.
Yeah, like I don't know, I just don't like it. I mean, I love fries, I love cheese curds. It's just and I like that they get all melty with the gravy, but it's like the gravy itself I don't like.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I keep thinking I'm gonna like it when I just don't. Maybe one day I will.
Maybe you can like make a poutine with the gravy that you like one day and see.
Yeah. Also, I wonder if it's the aspect of the fries getting soggy. I don't like soggy fries
Maybe.
because I really like. What's your favorite kind of fry? Actually, I want to know this.
It's the ones that like at Sauvé or like
Moe's.
Belle Pro, Moe's.
Yeah.
Like those are always my favorite because there's like a little bit of like a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And then I also really like a very close second / might be tied is like McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's fries.
But
are
only
my
when they're
favorite.
really fresh and salty and crispy.
Actually, I really like Costco fries. Like when you
I was
get the
gonna say the
fry,
Costco fries are also really
they're
good.
so good.
I don't
They're,
know.
like,
I
battered.
love fries in general.
Me too.
Anything potato.
Yeah, I mean, I think fries is like my favorite food. 'Cause
Me
it's
too.
Just so good.
You know what's so funny? Me and Dad were talking about that when we went for breakfast the day that you went to Nantucket.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's your favorite food?" And he was saying he really likes like French fries and chips and stuff, and I was like, honestly, same, like fries till the day I die.
So we should get into the topic of today because we've been yapping for 40 minutes.
Yes.
So we wanted to talk today about, being in a phase of life where you feel like you were meant to be at a specific place at the specific time, and then you're just not there yet. And you're kind of just like stuck in this in between, because as we grow up, and I had a meeting this morning and I was talking about it actually with the girl because she's 25, and she was like, I'm feeling like older, and I'm like laughing internally, but I'm like, I remember actually feeling that way at 25 because it's like the quarter year, you're getting closer. First of all, you're in your mid-20s, you're getting closer to your 30s, and it's like, oh my gosh, I should have my life figured out, and like you have this pressure to like get married and have kids at a certain age, and it's just like a lot.
Yeah.
But then you realize as you're getting older how young it actually is.
Yeah.
And even now, like realizing how young 30 is.
I was actually talking about this last night with my friend because she's 29 and she was kind of talking about that, and I was like, you know what, when I turned 27, I'll never forget that year because that was the first year I genuinely felt old. It was 24 I started feeling a little bit old, but then 27 for some reason, because I was like, I'm no longer in my earlier mid-20s, I'm in my late 20s, like I'm approaching 30. And something about that age just like freaked me out, and I remember feeling like 27 to 29 so old, but the second I turned 30,
you feel young again.
I felt young again. Because now it's like, okay, I'm starting a new decade, but I'm at the very beginning of this new decade, and it was weird.
No, people say that 28 is older than 30.
And
I totally agree.
Yes. And so I was like saying that to her, and we're kind of talking about like timelines and feeling like you're kind of behind in life, and you thought that you would have...
Okay, sorry guys, we had to stop because my camera battery died. I think because it's so hot outside. Also, if this is the worst lighting, honestly, like, I'm sorry, but we couldn't not record outside. It was so nice.
It's so beautiful outside today.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so yeah, being on a timeline to like...
like thinking that you were going to be hitting specific milestones at like a certain point in your life, and like you just feel behind, and I feel like that's a very common feeling and experience for women, even men, but like I feel like women, specifically for women, because we are like,
we have an internal clock,
and then also just like societal norms and pressure and stuff like that, and there's so many people that say nowadays, like especially women, that are like, you really don't need to be married and have kids by a certain age. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my guy friends recently about this, and he was like, Kyla, would you rather settle for the wrong guy? You get married, you have kids, you're splitting your finances, and then you guys get divorced when you're in your 50s or something, and then you have to start over then. You're older, you don't look the same, you have kids, you have all this baggage. He's like, wouldn't it just be better to be single while you're young and don't settle? And he's like, and even if you don't find that person for a really long time, then you like,
at least you find yourself.
Exactly. And like, you will be happier alone than with someone who doesn't fulfill you.
Yeah, like you don't want to jump into something because you're scared of the timeline, and you're like, well, this is good enough, and then it's like 10 years down the road, you're like, what the hell did I do? Like, I know I've had this conversation with a lot of friends, because a lot of my friends have been in really long-term relationships, and like even with Dan and I, we've been together since we were 21, like, so it's kind of like people will say, or did you feel like you just jumped into it, whatever? And to that I say, listen, like, it's very possible to grow as people while you're in a relationship. I think the best thing to do if you're not super in love and happy is to break it off and like find yourself. Like, I just think that's the best thing. I don't feel like I needed to do that because we did break up at 25 for a while. So not that I like found myself in the year, but I feel like I'm constantly evolving, and I'm very happy in my situation. But I could see certain friends of mine, they have like, I don't want to say they have this regret, but it's almost like, oh, what did I do? Like I didn't explore, and like their partner isn't open to them like growing as a human as well. Like they want to be complacent, they want to be the same. And I think if you're in a situation where both parties are like super, like your biggest cheerleader to grow and evolve, I think that's like the best.
Yeah.
But not everyone has that. And like, you don't know who you're going to be when you're 20, 21 years old. And like, okay, yeah, granted, early 30s is not the same as early 40s. You know, like everyone changes, and it'd be weird if you never changed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're
but
learning
I
who
feel
you
like
are.
your 20s, like that decade of life, like of course still in your 30s,
Yeah.
like it's another decade where you're changing still, but especially your 20s, it's like my early 20s, my mid 20s versus my late 20s, who I was at every stage of my 20s throughout that whole decade was night and day. Whereas I feel like with your 30s, it's still going to be a huge change from
Not
the
as
beginning of your
much.
30s to the end of your 30s, but it's not going to be so black and white. It's going to be a lot more like gray, slow.
I agree with
growing.
that. Because in your 20s, like they say, your frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until you're 25 years old.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's done at that point. I mean, I think mine took a little bit longer, I'm not going to lie. But I think in my 30s, I definitely am pretty similar from like the beginning of my 30s to my almost mid 30s.
Yeah.
Like there's not much of a change in terms of like who I am as a person.
For me, I feel like I matured a lot when I was 28, 29. I noticed a huge difference.
Yeah.
I like at the time I didn't notice, but like at this point in my life when I like reflect back, I'm like, okay, those were like pivotal years.
Yeah.
I
think also depends on the circumstance of what you're going through, right?
Exactly. And then, but even now, I'm like, okay, I'm not the same person I even was like then.
It's just tough because I know what it's like to feel like you should be somewhere and you're not.
Yeah.
And then if you really break it down and you look at the bigger picture and you're like, but why do I feel like I should be at that place? Like, who's telling me I should? Is it family? Is it society? Like, why am I feeling this pressure to be at a certain place? When you talk to women, especially in like their 40s and 50s, like they will tell you, first of all, you're so young, you have so much time. Like, they'll tell you, don't feel this pressure.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to feel it when you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And the amount of time.
Because we don't have that wisdom yet.
No. And like, even they say, like, imagine being 80 years old and you wake up, you're 80 years old, you wake up one day and you're back into your youthful self for one full day. What would you do different? You know, you would appreciate every little thing.
Yeah.
And the mundane things that you think are annoying, the day-to-day things, it's like, these are all things that you wish you can go back and get when you're older. So why not appreciate them now? And time is the only thing that is like, I mean, it's not even guaranteed, right? Because you can die at any time. But I'm saying that like, time is going to happen. It's going to move. It's going to, like, you can't stop time. So why not lean into it and enjoy the process of life versus being scared to age, being scared to get to the new stage, or feeling like pressure to get to the new stage. There's so many people that, like, when we were teenagers, wanted to grow up. They wanted to be older so bad. And now as you're aging, people want to be younger. They want to be that youthful person that's like accepted more in society, when it's should be the opposite. Why is it that men, when they age, they're considered to be more handsome and better looking, and then it's the opposite?
And
for
they're
women.
more in their prime when they're in their 40s versus women. It's like you're in your prime when you're in your early 20s kind of thing.
It's like that only reason
makes
why
it makes it impossible.
But the only reason why it's like that is because of society.
Yeah.
Because if you go to other places in the world, it's not like that. Aging is actually such a privilege. And I like that there's a lot of people in my inner circle that are really embracing that.
Yeah.
You know, because like social media is one thing. You get easily influenced by what you see online, but you have the option to take a step back and like not see certain things.
Yeah.
But what's around you in real life is what's most important, like your circle around you.
Exactly. And I think it's also very difficult when you're your only friend in your friend group who isn't engaged or married or in a long-term relationship. It can be very difficult, and that's why I feel like when you're single, especially when you're getting a little bit older, because like I don't even want to say we're older, because
there's people that might be listening
in the grand
that are like,
scheme of things, we're gonna look back to like our 30s, even our 40s, and be like, we were young.
Yeah.
But I think that it's important when you're like around our age and even older, if you're still single and all of your friends are married or engaged, long-term relationships, like find single friends. Go out and meet new friends. Don't even prioritize meeting a man. Prioritize meeting new single friends and then if it happens where you meet someone.
Do you think, and you don't have to answer this, but do you think that, like, okay, let's say you found a group of single girls, okay? You're all around the same age, you're in the same kind of boat, and then one of you gets into a relationship. Does that kind of, like, make the relationship between you and a friend hard that they've now entered that?
No, but it depends on the friend.
Okay, I see.
So one of my best friends was when we bonded because she listens to the podcast, and she reached out to me, and we were both like, we bonded because she's like, I'm the same age as you, I'm also from the same area as you, I'm also single, like dating sucks and all this stuff. And so that's how we became friends.
I love that.
And she recently got into a relationship, and it didn't, like, you know, like, she's the type of friend that she doesn't need to bring her boyfriend everywhere. She doesn't need to talk about him all the time. She doesn't ditch all of her friends constantly.
Okay, so it depends on the person, you're saying.
It depends on the person. But I do think that's rare for women.
Well, because I know...
Because I know other people that, like, once they got into a relationship, it was like...
Well, I mean, that happened to me. Is like, when I got into a relationship, I was, like, non-existent to my friends for, like, 6 months.
Yeah.
I mean, honeymoon stage is very real, but, like, especially as you get older, it's something that, like, you can be aware of. I feel like as a teenager, or, like, I was 21. It's not that's an excuse, but it was more, like, understandable. Whereas now, if you're in your 30s and you're gonna, like, completely ditch your friends for half a year, it's a little ridiculous because you're aware that that's, like, not okay. But also
like, people are allowed to be in the honeymoon stage of their relationship and spend more time with their boyfriend and a little bit less time with their friends. But it's...
No, but I'm talking about, like, ditching.
Exactly. And I know some
bailing.
people.
Yeah. I mean, it happens to the best of us.
I did that when I was younger, where it was, like, not full-blown, like, ditching, but, like, definitely, like, consumed by my boyfriends.
I lost a few friends because of my decisions of, like, I would make plans with them and then bail, or I'd be like, oh, can I bring Dan? And they'd be like, what the fuck? And I was like, what, you don't like my boyfriend? And
that's
they were
so annoying.
I know. And I remember at the time when they'd be like, Alex, like, we don't want to only hear about your boyfriend and, like, hello. And I remember being, like, so insulted because I was very not self-aware. And it was my first real relationship. So I was, like, so excited about it. And, like, looking back now, I'm like, oh, my God, I was literally that girl. That was so annoying. I mean, listen, it's not like I look back at those friendships and I'm like, oh, my God, I miss them so much. You know, like, we're in totally different places in our lives now, too. But that was totally my bad.
Yeah. Of,
like, just being ridiculous. And then as other friends of mine got into relationships later in life and they kind of did the same thing, I, like, realized, okay, this is why everyone was so annoyed. But at the same time, I do have to say it's not black and white because they didn't want me talking about my boyfriend at all. And I thought that was annoying because it's like, if something is so important to you, it should be important to your friends.
Yeah.
And I think there is definitely, like, a scale, and it's the same thing with this, like, societal pressure of things. If you enter a new phase of your life that another friend of yours is not in, it shouldn't be off limits to talk about just because the other person is not in that phase of life. Yeah. And I think it goes
I also
both
think
ways.
You see your true friends when, like, you're finally really happy and, like, they're not at that same point. And if they're still able to be happy for you, like, that's a real friend.
100%. And, you know, it's tough because I see, especially moms, they'll post this thing on social media where it's like, you know, when I entered motherhood, I saw who my true friends were. And I'm like, I get the sentiment of, like, it's hard and, like, you want people to be there for you. But at the same time, like, not everyone is living your experience and not everyone is aware of, like, the things you need if you're not communicating. So to post something like that to me is petty. And, like, I haven't had any friends personally post something like that, but I've seen people that I follow on social media post things like that. And I'm like, I don't know if I fully agree with that because I have friends in my life that are still single and that I would never, ever expect them to, like, see my perspective if they've never even been in my shoes. Like, you just don't know. And also, everyone is different. So even if they were in my shoes and, like, lived my experience, maybe they'd handle it differently.
Yeah.
So it's one thing I had this conversation with my friend because, okay, she gave an example of, like, one of her friends is getting married and she's, like, in her mid-30s and it's her first, like, real relationship and she's super excited, but a lot of her other friends are moms and already are, like, super busy with their lives. So she's like, oh, I'm gonna organize my own bachelorette because, you know, everyone's so busy. And my friend was kind of complaining about it because she's like, you know, I feel so bad that she's, like, organizing her own bachelorette. Like, some of her friends should do it for her. Like, her bridesmaids should do it for her. And I remember I told her, I was like, listen, just because you think that's the appropriate thing to do doesn't mean that, like, everyone thinks that way. Because if she wants to organize it, let her organize it. And if she's feeling bad because everyone is so busy and not everyone is going to be able to give the same amount of time, like, it does suck, but at the same time, it is the reality. It's not everyone is single in their 20s. Everyone is busy and does have lives, and, like, this person wants a specific thing, and if no one can commit to that, it's better that they say, hey, I can't commit to that because I'm so busy, and her plan it on her own, versus have all these expectations that are going to be met with disappointment because the people are busy.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the past 10 years is that just because I would do something to someone a certain way doesn't mean that they would do the same thing back.
Yeah.
And although I hope that my friends would care about the things that I care about, the way that we act and react to in situations is not the same.
Yeah. Fully agree. And that's actually one of the most mature places that you can get to in life. And it's also one of the hardest things to come to terms with, because if you're very, very passionate about something and your friends don't see it the same way, or if you have, like, expectations or standards and your friends don't see it the same way, it's not always, I'm saying, it's not always because they're bad friends and they don't care about you. It's just a difference of opinion. And, like, if you're mature enough, like, if the friend is good in many other areas and they're bringing a lot of value to your life, then you need to just accept that not everyone is going to see things the same way you do.
I agree.
Okay, this has been a huge fail. We basically came over here because it was just, everything was overheating and dying, and we would go inside, but my kids are home and it's loud. And then we recorded a whole outro and the camera wasn't even recording, so.
And we had to come in the shade because it's, like, actually unbearable now.
So we just want to say we hope you guys enjoyed. We definitely would love to continue this discussion if it's something that you want us to chat more about, because we have so many thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get to chat about our first guest of season 3, our cousin Christina. We had so much fun. We could definitely talk about that next episode. And we love you guys.
And we'll
talk to you next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.